I'm Rick Harp. This is your APTN News Brief for Tuesday, February 13th. We begin with tragic and disturbing news out of southern Manitoba, where 3 children, a teenager, and 1 woman were found dead Sunday morning. Their bodies found in 3 different locations. Now, the children's father, a common-law partner to the woman, has been charged. Tamara Pimentel has more.
Debris from a car fire on this Manitoba highway is what's left at one of the scenes where 5 family members were found dead Sunday morning. 29-year-old Ryan Manakisik has been charged with 5 counts of first-degree murder following the deaths of his 30-year-old common-law partner, her niece, and their 3 children, aged 6, 4, and 2.5 months old. A GoFundMe page has been created to raise money for a funeral. In it, a family friend identifies the victims as Amanda, Javen, Bethany, and Isabella Clearwater, and Maya Grattan.
And I'm very heartbroken with the loss of our women and the loss of young ones that we have lost over the weekend.
Grand Chief Kathy Merrick and Premier Wab Kinew spoke at an RCMP press conference on Monday.
This is pure darkness. When you think about a 2.5-month-old, it is impossible to imagine that there's anything that could justify what took place.
The deaths happened in 3 places. Around 7:30 Sunday morning, RCMP officers responded to a report of a hit and run on Highway 3 near Carmen. They found the body of Manakisik's partner. Hours later, RCMP received a call about a car on fire 45 minutes north on Highway 248 near St. Eustache. RCMP say the accused pulled his 3 children out of the car before officers arrived. All 3 were declared dead at the scene. The investigation continued and led police to a residence in Carmen where the body of the 17-year-old niece was located. Manakisik and all 5 victims lived in the home together.
It's sad that people are struggling and that we need to ensure that they have access to culturally appropriate services. A lot of our people get caught in between and they struggle, and these things happen. I'm sure the man loved his children. I'm sure that he's sorry that he had to pull them out of the vehicle, but he did something wrong.
RCMP Major Crimes Services continue to investigate. The surviving family has asked for privacy. Tamara Pimentel, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Saskatchewan MP Kevin Waugh sparked outrage last week when he claimed water treatment plants on reserve were burnt down. But as Rachel May reports, Waugh has since walked back those comments.
In my province of Saskatchewan, I've seen reserves burn down water treatment plants because this government has done little or nothing.
That was one of the comments MP Kevin Waugh made in the House of Commons during a debate over Bill C-61, the First Nations Water Act. Waugh went on to say there needs to be more training when it comes to facilities on reserves.
These water treatment plants need education, and they need people on reserve to operate the water treatment plants.
One of the water plant fires Waugh was referring to was on the Piapop First Nation north of Regina, but that fire was caused by a propane leak, not arson. Late last week, Waugh walked back his comments. His office said that Waugh was not familiar with the circumstances surrounding the fires, and he didn't mean to imply anything about the cause. Piapop First Nation has now issued a statement calling for a formal apology from Waugh. Chief Mark Fox says Waugh's comments perpetuate racist stereotypes. These statements from the MP are not only without merit, but deeply disrespectful to the people of Piapop First Nation and all First Nations committed to the stewardship of our lands and resources. Fox says the comments made by Waugh shifted the focus away from real issues in the community regarding infrastructure and resource management. Piapop First Nation is not on the federal government's boil water advisory list. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
To Edmonton, where Kenneth Cordarelli was sentenced Friday in the death of 30-year-old Billy Johnson, the Sampson Cree mother of 2. Cordarelli was found guilty of manslaughter last September. Prior to that, he'd pled guilty to indignity to the young woman's body, which was found in a wooded area outside the city. Justice Stephen Hillier sentenced Cordarelli to a combined 13 years in prison for manslaughter, indignity to a body, and violating parole. Billy's mother, Marlis Johnson.
I'm just really upset, and he brought out really good litigating factors of her death and who was the cause of it. And this guy still got only 13 years. He's going to be out in 5. I know this penal system. And when he's out in 5 and he hurts somebody else, then that's on them. And when that happens, I'm suing them. I'm suing them because they didn't put him away for life.
The City of Winnipeg has released their preliminary multi-year budget for 2024 through 2027. And compared to last year's budget, it includes a $36.5 million increase over that span for the Winnipeg Police Service. A police budget expected by 2027 to be around $336.5 million, the vast majority for salaries and benefits. According to the City of Winnipeg's compensation disclosure for 2022, which includes emergency responders, engineers, lawyers, and more, the chief of police was its top earner, making just under $300,000 that year. That's an increase of around $75,000 for the same position since a 2015 disclosure report. Meanwhile, the 2022 report also listed half of the top 10 and top 100 earners as members of the police service. Money that could be better spent somewhere else, according to a Winnipeg police abolitionist group.
What that looks like is, reinvesting money from the police budget into public housing. And making sure that people are housed. It means investing in safe consumption sites, and so that people aren't risking toxic poisonings and erratic potencies of substances, which is like a major safety issue, and it is killing a lot of people. Things like food security programs, 24-hour safe spaces, public transit so that people can actually access the services that are available in the city. Things like income supports. There's a wide range of different things that we know will actually promote safety and remove or limit people's vulnerability to harm.
And finally, it was 50 years ago when the Haida Nation in British Columbia formed its own government, but not everyone's recognized and respected their existence over those decades. Now the authors of a new federal bill promise to change that. At a recent press conference in the Senate, Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Gary Anandasangri announced the introduction of Bill S-16. If passed, the bill will officially recognize the Council of the Haida Nation as the government of the Haida Nation. President Gaguis Jason Alsop called it a good day for the Haida Nation and a good day for Canada.
In Gut-Ut along Skangulcha Tulyafta, having good people work together to make things right as we continue to confront the history of this country and look to ensure that our homelands are cared for now and for future generations with proper recognition of our government and our inherent rights and titles.
And that's your APTN News Brief for Tuesday, February 13th. I'm Rick Harp.